My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Monster Train 2. I've hit random, and the game has decided that it should be, Underlegion and Stygian. Underlegion with Madam's Lion Mane as the lead, and the Stygian with Solgar the Martyr. We've got 2 copies of Green Recruit in the base deck, 0 and 1 size, Extinguished to spawn 4, fun guy. There's a double copy of Flash Freeze, 1 Ember to deal 3 damage to a unit, and then apply Frostbite 8, which does Frostbite damage at the end of the turn and then decreases by 1. And Nameless Siren. 1 Ember 2 size, on incant, gain Rage 3. We've also got the Pyre Heart, Pyre of Savagery. Friendly units gain Slay, gain +1 damage permanently. And also Seraph Eterna's Chosen of Dominion. Dominion. Oh boy. I mean, I guess fun guy is how I avoid that being too much of a problem for us. I haven't gotten to play much with Madam Lion's Mane. Let's have a look at the artifact first. Hell yeah. Sap Suckling Spring. Shroom units apply Decay 1 to enemy units on summon. The Green Recruits counters those. We've got more Decay application. We might find ways to do something like when you apply Decay, you apply 1 more. Icicle Fracture is nice. A little bit of consistency between your hands, but I'm going to try and find a way to abuse Suckling Spring here. Yeah, like this. Madam Lion's Mane. On action, so that's at the start of their turn, apply Decay 1 to enemy units, and also when a unit gains Decay, it gains 2 additional stacks. So the additional stacks from Sap Suckling Spring on the Spore Singer line will also get, well, I guess, tripled in this instance. There's also Maneater, giving the ability Man-Eating, apply Sap 2 and Decay 5 to a unit, with a cooldown of 1. But I haven't done the Spore Singer line, and this seems like a perfect opportunity to try. So realistically, what do I need after this point? Nameless Siren will run on a secondary line. I don't really have many good spells for incanting for her, so I may have to just waste some spells on that line to give her some rage. She'll be standing behind a Shield Steward. Madam Lion's Mane is also going to be standing behind a Shield Steward. Realistically, both of them need a defender. And Spore Singer, you are giving 1 Decay to enemy units when you act, and it's 3 because of your ability. And Decay does 3 damage each, so you're doing 9 damage sweep. It's not quick. It does trigger after combat, but because of that, you should be clearing out the chaff on the bottom line. Underlegion unit, Merchant of Steel, Stygian Banner. I'm actually not entirely against the idea of going double Merchant of Steel at the opening here. Our spells are... We have spells. But we could get an Underlegion unit and a Stygian unit, and especially if we could get a Stygian unit for the Nameless Siren line, and then a Underlegion unit that respects Propagation or Decay or something like that to defend Madam Lion's Mane, we'd be off to a really good start. Enemies enter with Titan Skin, that's completely fine. Madam Lion's Mane's Decay is still going to be more than enough. Wild. Yeah, we've filled all of our slots at the moment. I'm gonna go for a buff to the Nameless Siren's Rage on the 2nd floor. Neat. Spore Touch on that line takes care of the Collector, and then I can refocus my efforts on the lower line, where it's all gonna be Decay towards the Fallen Champion. So when this Cowering Sycophant ascends, it'll get killed by the Shield Steward in the next line, so the Fallen Champion's going to take damage to the Nameless Siren and its own Decay, so yeah, that'll clear as well. They're already taken care of on the next line, so I wonder if maybe... I wonder if I'm well served, in fact, by saving some HP on my unit here. and then focusing on additional incants for the next floor, I think. Because that line's also going to have to do some damage, because this bottom line is not going to manage by itself. So I'm looking to flash freeze, foregone. Yeah, honestly, this is completely fine. By the time Estrella leaves this line, they'll have so much decay on them. Especially thanks to these early rounds where they're not doing any damage. Now all I need to do is get an actual unit that has, you know, consistent generation of health. Instead to be the thing standing in front of Madam Lion's Mane. I mean, damn. This has a setup. This has legs. Sorry, fins. Roots? A mixture of all three. Green Recruit again. There's also Gooey Flask, 1 Ember Consume, apply Sap 2 to enemy units, and then Infectory. Spawn 1 when a unit without troop dies. If the fun guy that was summoned were counted as shroom units rather than troop units, I'd be amazed. I'd be over the moon with this, because Sap Suckling Spring would be busted. I need to confirm this, because I'm surprised that they're not. Although it's a cardless card. Can I even search for cardless cards? Fun guy. Okay, no. You cannot. Troop? Because it's also got troops stacked. Look, I'm going to check. I have to check. Also, it's worth noting, the Infectory on another line is also pretty good. It's just a lot of power. Flash Rays, we've already got 2 base copies in the deck. Helical Crystallis for just a bunch of damage to the frontliner. Pretty reasonable, especially early on. One of the reasons not to take Titan's Gratitude is because I already have a bunch of random discards at the end of the turn, so a little harder to take that. Do the spells that I picked up change my mind? Well, one of them's a room, the other one does not change my mind, so I'll be heading to a Merchant of Steel here. Dualism Endless. Dualism Regen 10. Alright, hopefully we get someone who really likes Dualism. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. How do I do it? That's all the card draw I'll ever need. I can't turn this guy down. He has my favorite keyword on him. Death Capped. Oh my god, how do I justify this? So this would be Infectory on the bottom line alongside Madam Lion's Mane, who's clearing out the chaff from enemy lines, giving us the ability to draw an additional card per enemy that dies from that. And then I'm looking for another unit in order to defend on that line. Like, Prickly Puffball is the defender. That's literally the dude's job. But that Death Cap Prophet. Do I have to make Nameless Siren my defender? Nameless Siren with Dualism would be sick. I'm not good at spawning without having killed enemies, so I have to have Infectory or Green Recruits already to sack on the bottom line. I'm spending too long on a decision that I already made. The decision is done. It happened a while ago. Getting Endless so that I can just keep dropping one of these Green Recruits on the bottom line seems really good to me. Getting Dualism for double incant on the Nameless Siren seems pretty good to me. I wonder if I might just want 20 additional health on the Death Capped Prophet. Death Capped Prophet, just to keep them alive while I'm waiting for the Green Recruits at the moment. You can dampen my fire, but you will never dampen my spirits. Hang on. These guys are shroom units. The additional decay stacked on the enemy tends to indicate... Yep, it's... Why does it not indicate in the tooltip that refers to them that they are shroom units? I mean, I know that they're fun guy, but like, it's kind of important to know. Yeah, so actually spawning on this bottom line will cause the sap suckling spring. So this is where Infectory goes, and this is insane. Let's drop down our first recruit. That's gonna get so much fun, guy. Drop a Spore Touch on the next line. And then I think I just cast Foregone Powers on this next line in an attempt to buff the Nameless Siren. I've also got to make sure that I keep an eye on the fact that the Nameless Siren is now capable of getting double the impacts. Oh yeah, this bottom line's gonna be sick. Nameless Siren is now capable of getting double the impacts of buffs and debuffs on equipment that she's wearing. So I should make sure to keep that in mind. Use that appropriately. Yeah, you're dead on the next line. So do I focus on spells on the next line? I suppose so. Well, actually, I'd really like my green recruit to die this turn, thank you. Because it's endless, you see, so I want it to rip so I can let it rip again. Oh boy. This bottom line is so good. Not only is it very well defended, not only does it form its own defensive wall consistently, not only is it going to be very good against Seraph Eternus already at the end of the rounds, but also it's drawing a full hand of cards for me constantly. It's never been easier to justify taking draw. Sorry. I've been playing into the joke for a while. Let's be clear. That one was actually a slip of the tongue. That was actually my brain just auto-completing the sentence. No, it's never easier to justify taking energy now. Oh, the decay on that bottom line. Oh, boy. I don't even think I need additional pieces for that bottom line at this point. Ooh, that's interesting. Loam Coat on resolve gain regen 2 and propagate 4. Wait, is propagate something that gets affected by dualism? I don't know. I would hope so, but I'm not certain on that actually. Spawning pods, consume spawn 4. I mean, certainly not bad. Anything that gives me the ability to suddenly spawn things on the bottom line is really powerful. Loam Coat's nice, and I like the idea of dropping it on the Nameless Siren, but right now, realistically, what do I need? The ability to defend our bottom line consistently. So spawning pods, or, honestly, another green recruit are great choices. I'm gonna take green recruit. Mollusk Mage, Energy Siphon, and Helical Crystallis. That one's gonna be none of them. None of those make my deck more powerful than they take away from it. Ooh. Is there an argument for me to hit the Merchant of Arms here instead? I am still definitely looking for a frontliner for the Nameless Siren, and an incant frontliner, like I'm specifically thinking of the Shark, obviously, would be pretty sick. Making Infectory a deployable room, as well as looking for possibly another room or a piece of equipment to throw on someone, that's actually pretty compelling. Spell Sanctum. Spells cost -1. I mean, look, getting that on the second floor so I can incant there with a bunch of spells is nice, but, like, often I won't even have targets for these spells. Boiler Room, gain 1 Ember when an enemy dies. That's nice, but realistically, Infectory, it competes against Infectory. Both it and Infectory want to be on a floor where a bunch of units die. You seldom have 2 floors where that happens. Spell Sanctum, Glass Cannon. I think I'm definitely upgrading Infectory. That seems like a good choice. I think I could try and take Spell Sanctum and try and justify it. I don't think that necessarily would be good for us, though. I think I just take my deployable and leave. Oh, it's this event! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, 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 boy. Small gift box. We can add 3 of our spells into a small gift box, and then we consume that, and then it adds those spells back to our hands, so it guarantees that they are drawn together. Realistically, we would largely be using it for removal. Jack in a Box. On resolve, summon a boxed unit. Now, my only problem with this is that this needs to survive turn 1, because it summons the boxed units in front of itself. So because it's a banner unit and it costs 0, if I could play it on turn 1 and have have it survive in order to be able to summon something, after that, it could summon Green Recruit, and Green Recruit, just all of those on the same line. The only problem is, as soon as one of the Green Recruits dies, it spawns Fun Guy in front of it, and then I'm never getting another out of it. Large Mystery Box, add a random card in hand to spell to enchant. Look, if I'm honest, the best way for me to use this event at this point is probably removal. Who defends the Nameless Siren? Perhaps it's a Shield Steward, and a Spear Steward in a box. It's literally just jump blocks for the second floor for a while, as well as removal from the deck. If I had Steward's Quarters on offer from Merchant of Arms, now I would actually round the corner back and go for it. Archeon's going to deal damage. If we have empty floors, we will have empty floors, so Archeon is going to deal damage. Madam Lionsmaid, followed by Deathcap Prophet, followed by Infectory. Nameless Siren and Jack in the Box in front. Right. No, I do want that to summon, so I'm going to have to Green Recruit that floor, unfortunately. Actually, I don't need to cast the additional spells on the bottom line. I'm already killing all the targets I'm going to be killing. So I may as well get my additional incant triggers on this line, because that's going to be really relevant damage. have to take 10 damage on the bottom line, but in response, I have summoned some shrooms. Oh boy, you seek to kill my Deathcap Prophet. How dare you? I'm gonna have to use direct removal in order to summon another troop. Helical Crystallis would get us across the line here. In terms of killing the Flagellant in the front lines, summoning another troop for us. Wrong discard, but that's okay. 6 cards. Unless 2 of the green recruits are 2 of the bottom cards of my deck, I will draw a green recruit this turn in order to help defend us. Nice. I'm gonna have to play both Spear Steward and Green Recruit on the top line in order to prevent the direct damage to our Pyre. Both spell touches, and then double incant on the Nameless's floor. One more shield to come out of the box. Nice. Oh, I love the full hand draw. I'd love to burn out Calcified Ember. Can I really justify that right now? Absolutely. Oh, that's so much decay application. I love it. I love it. Excellent. I'll direct all of my further addresses to... Oh, perfect. The next floor for the sake of the incants. Okay, so we've got some good sweep. We've got some good damage projection. What are we still really missing out on? We're not good at taking down 2 large targets. We're good at chopping off 1 large target with Nameless Siren and killing out the backline with the Madam Lion's Mane. But we're going to need the decay to become a lot larger for us to take care of frontline targets consistently. Or we're going to need to start a 3rd floor. I could see either or. Ancient Synergy, 3 Ember, deal damage to the front enemy unit equal to 2 times the number of spells in your deck, and do that 3 times. So this would be do 26 damage 3 times. Contagious, 2 Ember to consume. Enemy units propagate 4. Then, add a copy of this card to your discard pile, giving us the ability to consume consistently, but also the ability to propagate on enemies a lot. I certainly think that's appropriate here. And then Fun Guy in a Suit. Spawn 3, apply armor to the Fun Guy equal to 4 times its troop total. I think Fun Guy in a Suit is also appropriate. I'm gonna take Fun Guy in a Suit. Moral Mistress. Cold Kalia and Titan Sentry. Titan Sentry would be a tank for the 2nd floor, but it's not the incant tank I was hoping for, unfortunately. Cold Kalia would sweep, applying Frostbite to a unit, and Moral Mistress on Etch applies Decay 8 to enemy units. I do want the space to be able to play green recruits on the bottom line, which means that I need to have enough space to be able to have troops and a green recruit and Madam Lion's Mane and the Deathcap Prophet. So what that means is Deathcap Prophet is my tank for that floor. At least until I get the Fun Guy. So Moral Mistress doesn't fit down there. Yeah, it's gonna be Titan Sentry. It's gonna throw on that next floor up. Thank you, Energy. Merchant of Trinkets is huge, but I do now have some spells that I would actually like to upgrade. By some spells, apparently, I am referring exclusively to fungi in a suit. I've just realized. But the idea of getting one trinket is really disappointing. Merchant of Magic, -2 cost intrinsic for fungi in a suit. Making this intrinsic is really good. It gives me the ability to defend the bottom line on the first turn, for the sake of the Death Cap Profit, so huge. Heal equal to the spell's cost. Meh. -2 cost and consume. I can throw that on Helical Crystallis and I'll never be sad about it. Plus then magic power. Theoretically on Helical Crystallis. If I'm going to consume remove something, it's probably going to be the fungi in a suit at the moment. How sad am I going to be to have a 45 that I can only use once? Almost not at all. Consume removal for fungi in a suit. Yeah, that's just going to be a great defensive measure for the bottom line to be able to play consistently. It's... Now that I have 4 Ember, it's actually a really good card to dupe as well. -1 cost to a Flash Freeze, just so it's easier to cycle them through the deck. Ooh, Everbloom, that's pretty fun. On Incant, spawn 1. So it spawns a troop, and then the troop would do the extra 3 decay. God. Is the Everbloom line a lot better now? So Spore Singer is just adding an additional decay for each stack that is gained on that line. This would add an additional trigger of Sapsuckling Spring, which then also does 3. That said, it would also kind of ask me to be incanting on that line, which is not what the Nameless Siren has signed up for. I'm going to try and go through to Spore Singer 3 and still separate these lines. I think a second copy of Fungi in a Suit is totally appropriate. Start a battle, enemy Nitsphere on each floor. That's completely fine as long as I play my Titan Sentry and Nameless Siren on the top line instead of on the bottom. I'll do it. Fungi in a suit. Fungi in a suit. Green recruit in front of the fungi's in a suit. Oh no! My Nameless Titan up there, it's gonna... Oh no! The shark is gonna die! Then the Shield Stewards will be defending, and we've already got the 2 lines down, so... Woohoo! So midline's kind of where I'm just going to be dumping units, it looks like. If I have the green recruit endless every turn, second green recruit doesn't really get an opportunity to get played. And then for the rest of the turn, it's as much incant as I can get on the top line. The Shark ate all of the damage exactly that it needed to. Thank you, Shark. Fungi in a suit. Nice. An additional 100 armor for the troops on bottom line. Sounds good to me. I think we've found our defensive strategies. I'm really happy to have these unconsumed Funkais in his suit just rotating around the deck. Like, they're great. Manually play the Vengeful Shards because they didn't get discarded. It actually gives me something to do each turn to be able to play one or two of those. Damn, that's a big troop stack. Get him, trooper. I'm afraid you can't hit me. I'm hidden behind my wall of mushrooms. They had 1,000 armor. You have to kill the 1,000 armor before you can kill a single one of the troops. Hawks deal 10 damage to a unit on Slay Spawn 2. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. That said, the targets that it's capable of killing are already going to deny the Madam Lion's main's abilities. Wax Cap summon to apply Sap 3 to enemy units. I'm just going to take a Wax Cap. If you get Endless, you get Endless. If you don't get Endless, so be it. Alright, we can drop Guardian Stone on the top line and actually have serious incant going on that line. I suspect that's a pretty good idea. I also saw it under Legion and Merchant of Arms. Am I still looking to fill out a third line, or do I now just commit to my 2 lines? If I'm committing to my 2 lines, how do I really get it to do what I need? We would need Nameless Siren to get multi-strike. We'd want Titanite on the Titan Sentry, try and take half damage on you. We do want card removal, which is on offer there as well. Smidge Stone, Large Stone, interesting. Even more interesting, though. What if we just give you Incant Gain Armor 2? What if we gave the Nameless Siren Incant Gain Armor 2? Because you gain Armor 4. I like that a lot. You can become your own big defensive unit. And then we can make a big, small Titanite Sentry. And then add 20 additional health to, honestly, probably Deathcap Prophet again. Guardian Stone, so it can't get swept, is also pretty good. So that midline now becomes Titan Sentry, Nameless Siren behind. Jack in a Box gets drawn in the opening. Do I want to play Jack in the Box in the opening? Reasonable minds can disagree on that. If I don't want to play it, if I play that on its own line, that's literally just chumping those units. Guardian Stone on the Nameless Sirens line, obviously pretty good. I need some more degenerate things to occur with spells. Meat Shield, 1 Ember for 15 health on a unit, as well as on Resolve, restore 10 additional health. Sounds great to me. Exactly what the Titan Sentry would like to hold. Bloodthirsty Blades, Slay, the equipment gains 1 damage permanently. Not bad, but not exactly solving the problems that we need to solve. I'm reasonably close to just removing Spear Steward and Jack in the Box. But then I do literally have a completely empty line. But it's not like they're really contributing. That said, this literally has 0 deck cost. Because it gets drawn in my opening hand, I play it in a blank space that's not otherwise summoning units. It has no cost. Foregone powers are okay, but I'm not going to want as many as I have. Spore touches are pretty bad in this deck. They're a spell that's really hard to cast on the Nameless Siren floor, because the Nameless Siren often doesn't even have an enemy. So we get Spear Steward and a Spore Touch out of this deck. I'm going to take the opportunity to also remove another card. And I think this one will be a Foregone Power. Not blocking any units. Restore 150 health when you move up a floor. Your largest, healthiest units, I think, have 180? We can absolutely contest that. The 200 gold is really important. I'm looking for a Merchant of Trinkets soon. I think it's in the next area. Yeah, Merchant of Trinkets with the Forgotten Boons. Merchant of Magic Empyrean Well. If I had more spells that I like, it would be really good, because I have units that like spells. I just don't have spells that like being played. Hopefully I get a good spell after this. Madam Lionsbane, the Death Gap Prophet, Infectory on the bottom line. Then... Titan Sentry, Nameless Siren. We're leaving space on that top line, so Jack in the Box goes in the middle line, literally just summoning trash. Perfect. Guardian Stone has its position. I get to play both green recruits. Oh, hell yeah. As well as Fun Guy in a Suit. Oh, no, I want to... Ooh. They're not going to die if I play the Fun Guy in a Suit there. I get Fun Guy in a Suit the top line. Hit that with the Spore Touch. Literally just pump the damage. Gives me a defender on the top line to work with later. Yeah. $27 decay, you'll take 27 damage at the end of the turn. Sure. Where's the Meat Shield? Helical Crystallis. Can I get Fallen Executioner low enough? Gonna have to flash freeze my own green recruit because it's behind the troops. Ugh. Okay, double stacking green recruits like that, not good. Not helpful. Try and get as many Foregone Powers as I possibly can on the top line, because I need to spike the Nameless Siren's damage to be able to do enough to take down the big units as they get up here. Yeah, just an errant spellcast on the top floor will be enough. Double Fun Guy in a Suit, it's a bunch of corruption for y'all. Flash Freeze takes down that target. Foregone Power and Foregone Power gets enough to take down the Fallen Executioner and starts getting enough, I believe, to contest the following Executioner lines. The 280s in a row, that's going to be a bit of a problem for us. So throwing some additional decay on those on the bottom line here, I think is appropriate. Really, discarded every card except for the Vengeful Shards. Thank you kindly. That one line on top is probably the one I'm most concerned about. Yeah, I'm not really capable of doing too much about that, but I can certainly get a whole mess of incats on the top line to make it less likely to ever happen again. Granted, it literally can't at this point. Thankfully, it's only one round of combat on the top line as well, because you attack and then get responded to very viciously. Easy bottom line. Yeah, I need some damage projection equipment for that top line, I think. Cheery Death Cap. Summon. Apply decay 7 to enemy units. There's a Pandemic as well. Apply decay 8 and sap 2. And add a copy discard to your discard pile. I like the idea of having that because the Pyre of Savagery has really low health. So being able to sap Dominion as well as start decaying Dominion sounds really good to me. And Mushroom Cloud. Consume. Sacrifice 1 fun guy to deal 10 damage and apply decay 10 to enemy units. I mean, a card that I would also want to remove Consume from, but just an especially powerful card in the context of constantly having shrooms up. I kind of want a copy of each of these. I would be happy to have... Both Pandemic and Mushroom Cloud are hard to cast on Nameless Siren's floor, unfortunately. We'll take Pandemic. Titan's Tooth. I do discard, but I don't discard intentionally. Can be cast on Offering, deals 5 damage to enemy units, applies Frostbite 10, more AoE than I really need. Ice Storm, 1 damage to enemy units 5 times. Ice Tornado. I could take Ice Storm as just a random spell cast I can throw on the top line, but it doesn't work well with anything I do. This is a skip for money. There are things I could do with an Empyrean Well. Especially lower the cost of Pandemic, and then dupe it so that I have just 0 cost Pandemics cycling through the deck consistently, but it's way overdue. Oh, Twin Minds. Create a permanent copy of the first Consume card played each fight. Now I really wish the Fungi in his suit was just negative costed and still consumed. This is actually really difficult because I can get another copy of Helical Crystallis. Sure. But it's either Helical Crystallis or Pandemic, and this one needs to get some upgrades before I would want to get a second copy of it permanently in the deck. That said, I can take one Helical Crystallis here, then go to the Merchant of Magic in the next area and try and heavily upgrade the Pandemic, and then I can get another Pandemic and then another Pandemic in the next 2 fights. That sounds good to me. Equipped units gain armor 10, all clan cards only offer rares. No longer especially relevant. Incant triggers an additional time is obviously ridiculous. First spell played each turn has -1 cost for every 15 cards in your deck. It'd be nice if I had 1 more card in my deck. Do I have the dupe next to me? I do not have the dupe next to me. Oops. So that's only going to be -1. Ooh, hang on. Event, give me a card? Event gave me a card. Propagate. I mean, it's got to be Propagate, right? It's pretty ridiculous on Nameless Siren. Governs Smite 3x Conduit. Reduce cooldown. Apply 2x Avarice. No. It's definitely Spike of the Legion. Which gets us to 30 cards, which now means Ancient Roots costs, or the first spell we cast each turn costs -2. Which actually does make Pandemic really appealing to play. Unfortunately, I still don't want to do it. I don't want to get a second copy of that card until it's good. Mm-hmm. Spike of the Legion trying to cast for +2 here. Sick. Okay. So, it is Fungi and a Suit on the bottom line.
Okay.
I guess I could consume to get another copy of Spike of the Legion. Not awful. Another Fungi and a Suit down here. Green Recruit in the front line. Then this top line, I think Wax Cap Sack. Sounds good to me. And then just single incant. So here's my opportunity to play Helical Crystallis on this floor. Granted, I should probably play a Spore Touch first, because it's 0 costed. Oh, we get the additional one in hand immediately, so I can cast it on the bottom line. Nice. The additional 4 compounds on the bottom line aren't certainly that helpful. But now that I've used Twin Mines, I can use the first Pandemic and then just cast 2 incants on the top. Those 2 incants becoming 4 because of the Founding Seal, and the impact of them also being doubled because of the dualism. Time to get rid of some of these other units. I'd love to play out the Calcified Ember here, and I think I will. I could do enough damage to take down the Ravenous Zealots. Or I could cast for the top line again. Oh, wow. I was really hoping that would have discarded one of the shards, but thankfully it's only 2 damage. There we go. Pandemic for -2 cost. I mean, I can Spike of the Legion U for 8 propagation, which I kind of think I want to do, yeah. Although that will prevent the Green Recruit from being slain on the top line, which is... it's fine. So much decay on bottom line. I'd love like a copy or 2 of Racking Pain just cycling through the deck. I feel like that'd be super useful. Yeah, decay your own minion. It's about time that we got the Green Recruit on that top line dead. Pandemic straight at the boss's face. And that ought to do it. Now rocking only 650 armor on our troop stack, so I don't know if we're going to be able to make it. We can get the Nameless Siren to 500 damage reasonably. If I can get you multicast, I do think we have this. Multicast, multi-strike. It's gonna have to be with equipment at this point. Though I will also say, that top line, I could easily just dupe the Nameless Siren, and it would be totally okay. Because the front line is the Titan Sentry one size, so I can just stack 2 Nameless Sirens behind the Titan Sentry. That'd be great. Not a problem whatsoever with doing that. Merchant of Magic in the final area is next to the Empyrean Well. Pretty unlikely to need more minion upgrades by that point. Yeah, I'm probably going to be duping it in the final area. Tome of Evergrowth. Apply Evergrowth to a friendly unit. And Evergrowth can give Regen 3 and Sap 3. I mean, it's the ability to give Regen to a unit, and then I can start trying to propagate that Regen from there. But doesn't matter, because Regen and Armor are likely to be competing against one another on the same unit. Deadly Variant, 2 Ember, Consume, Apply Decay equal to 5 times the sap on the unit. We don't really stack a bunch of sap on a unit until after we've also decayed them a bunch. Realistically, Deadly Variant would just eventually become the way to pump additional damage on Dominion on the top line after I've been using Pandemic, which, whatever. And Tome of Overgrowth. Ice and Pyre, Pyre-bound, deals 90 damage to the front enemy units. I mean, yeah, it's just a Pyre-bound spell. I can give you some magic damage upgrades and you'll be pretty good. Yep. Energy for me. Spore Singer the Third is now giving 4 additional stacks of decay per stack of decay. Double stack. Yes, thank you. For Pandemic. Yeah, that's definitely where that goes. Spell Chain. It's difficult to make you Spell Chain, because your second copy won't be 0 cost. I do need the ability to play you, so... That's unfortunate. Spell Chain on Ice and Pyre, maybe? Yeah, when I want to play you, I probably want to play a second one. -2 and Consume. Not important or relevant to any of ours. We'll reroll. Remove Consume, gain Holdover. There's not gain Holdover for anything that wants it. Emberstone removing some cost from Pandemic is really important. Removing Consume from Spike of the Legion? It makes it more playable, frankly. 10 magic power for the Ice and Pyre also would have been nice, but... I think I prioritize those appropriately for myself. Increasingly, Foregone Powers are feeling quite heavy in the deck, but the Spore Touches are always quite heavy. I've got to get rid of those first. So now, the first card I play in the combat should be Pandemic. Well, the first Consume card, rather, I play in the combat should be Pandemic. Ugh. Okay. Am I ready to deal with 2 500 health units hitting the top line at the same time? Yes. Courtesy of... Wait, no, I haven't duped the Nameless Siren yet, have I? It's fine, I'll figure it out. It won't cost me all of my health. It'll cost some, though. But the additional money for additional artifacts is really important. Perfect. Fun guy. Fun guy. Green recruit. So much damage. Get rid of the Vengeful Shard, play a green recruit on the middle line. Top line... I'll decay the mid, then top line gets its first incant. I'm going to have to make sure that I focus on the incants on the top line wherever available. Can't play Helical Crystallis. It'll Twin Mines, and that's not the card that I want to Twin Mines. Ice and Pyre can be played easily twice on the top line. I could just propagate directly. Actually, that seems maybe a better idea. Let's go Meat Shields, then direct propagation. Flash Freeze for the front line, and end turn. Alright, there's Pandemic. We'll play our first one. Time to get Guardian Stone on the top. Second one should definitely go on the Avowed Gladiator as well. Drop a Wax Cap on the same line. Want as many spells as possible to hit the same target on the top. It's about as good as incants get. It's only 150 health they restore when they go up the floor, so it's not all of their health. It is most of it. Okay, thankfully, Ice and Pyre is perfectly positioned here. First spell we play is obviously going to be a Fungi and Astute, though, to take advantage of the cost reduction. Then we've got... I don't even need to burn the Helical Crystallis out of the deck. Literally, Ice and Pyre takes them out. Although I do want as many incants as I can hit there. This would be a good opportunity to get rid of the Calcified Ember, perhaps. Alright, fine. I'm just going to spellcast this top line as severely as I can. Okay. That's looking much better position to be able to take out a 500 by itself. Here's our Deathly line, two 500 standing next to one another. Thankfully, we can Pandemic the backliner of them. Nice and high up at the top line. Totally unnecessary, we saw. Reasonable discards. Now we have the big Pandemic again. Thankfully, that line's safe. If I sap the Vowed Gladiator enough, I don't even have to worry about the fact that you get to the top line. But I will continue hamming up our incants. Ooh, Rax the Overblessed is making it out of the bottom line. Supposedly. Imagine my surprise, considering you have almost no damage. Nice. We don't even have to kill the 500-500. As long as we kill Rax on the bottom line, they don't get to the top. And we do kill Rax on the bottom line. Courtesy of giving you 14 sap and 39 decay before the battle starts. Ooh, boy. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. I don't really have a place to play Truffles that's safe. But what if on that top line I literally... No, I don't have space. I need to dupe the Nameless Siren. Mushroom Cloud, not bad. Wax Cap, not bad. Realistically, the midline is not where I play everything anymore. Crystalline Seeds, no, none of those are good. Yeah, definitely not Merchant of Steel. So I don't think I'm going to be playing the Jack-in-a-Box on midline anymore. I think I'm going to leave it open so that I can play my Wax Caps and my additional green recruits when they're drawn in the wrong order and stuff like that there. When a unit gains Frostbite, it gains 2 additional stacks. We theoretically give Frostbite to units, but realistically, that's not part of what we do. Lightstone Casing spells gain an extra upgrade slot. Oh, we're next to the Merchant of Magic, though. I have to take this and then look at the Merchant of Magic. Double stack. Double stack Fun Guy in a suit for even more armor on the bottom line? Is that necessary? Maybe not, but it's a hell of a defensive card. It's -1 costs. Pandemic? Remove consume. Ooh, I can -2 costs to something and then remove its consume as well. I mean, I could just give Spike the Legion the ability to do more. Remove consume from any of those, not especially important. The additional damage on Ice and Pyre would be okay, but not important. Verdant Cycle, the first time you play a spell card with each turn, with consume, each turn, draw 1. I mean, yeah, it's just additional draw. Remove a card from the deck. Probably gotta be a Spore Touch still. Although I gotta say, the Guardian Stone is starting to look a little out of place, a little spaceless. If I'm gonna get the dupe on the Nameless Siren here. That said, still much more place than a Spore Touch. Oh, spells are so busted. Yeah, those pandemics are going to be really, really important in ensuring that the most aggressive units that make it past us don't do anything to us. Do I play and just not defend the Jack-in-the-Box? I mean, I don't want it to be alive. I don't want it to be cycling through the deck. Yeah, I might kill it with my own Flash Freeze. Hell yeah. The additional consume card we're going to get is the better buffed Pandemic. So good. Hell, we might be able to get you outside of attacking range, and if you don't attack, you don't double corruption on the units. That'd be pretty damn good. Also, Fungi and a Suit on the top line, just to defend against your incoming attack this turn, as well as the corruption from it. And then I suspect I'm probably best served by hitting you with a Flash Freeze and then Foregone Power, but... you know what, I'm just going to trust the Jack-in-the-Box dies and focus on my incants. Yeah, the Jack-in-the-Box dies literally right now. You apply 4 corruption at the start of your turn. Even if you don't attack, you apply that corruption. Casting the Helical Crystallis on the bottom line doesn't actually accomplish anything for us. God, I love the Endless Green Recruit. Just spam some spells on the top line, rather. I mean, Spike of the Legion for 14? Ooh, I could even just make the fungi on the front line much larger using that. Same for the one on the bottom line. Oh, no. Oh, obviously. Obviously, I propagate the 14 directly on the boss. Now you have 25 sap, so you have negative 50 damage. You're not going to be attacking. That's just not going to be what happens with you, buddy. You are here to take damage, not deal damage. Gotta hit him with a wax cap. Suppose we're gonna be losing troop on the top line, so I'll take this as an opportunity to cast free spells on you. Fungi in a suit? For the bottom? Or do I just go for the super pumped Spike of the Legion immediately? No, no, I'm going to want to play the Pandemics as well. Okay. Fungi in a suit. Pandemic. Pandemic. Four waves remaining, so I do have to worry about these Avowed Gladiators getting to the top. Fine. Another Fungi in a suit for the bottom line. Then Spike the Legion for 10. Additional Sap, Decay, and Frostbite on the boss. Ooh, good target for the discard there. It's truly so much decay. It looks like nothing's happening to the deformed duos, but they are losing their reanimate. I'd like if it was showing when characters lose their reanimate, especially because if they lose their reanimate and then heal afterwards, it looks like they've survived and taken no damage and in fact healed, but could not be very much farther from the truth. I'm especially happy to see that the Nameless Sirens on the top line are self-sufficient. Good lord. Good lord. The amount of decay. You take 700 damage a turn just to that. All the while, there's a shark standing in front of them. This is like a human standing in front of the Colossus and going, "Stand back! I'll protect you!" Like, absolutely not, friend. You are doing nothing. You are very, very brave, Titan Sentry, I'll say that, but when you die, I will not at all be surprised. Ooh, finally there's enough corruption on the bottom line for the Death Cap Prophet to take enough to die. I knew that was going to happen eventually. We had 2 turns from Madame Lion's Mane dying for the same reason. Granted, the enemies do not have that time. Big ol' Spike of the Legion straight for the boss. You are taking 60 less than your health and damage at the end of this turn. But I still think that might just be enough. You've got negative 194 damage. So it's going to be a while until you actually get to hit me. Yeah, with enough sap on Savagery and Dominion, the Titan fight ought to be reasonably easy. Especially with 72 health, we even have the space to still make some mistakes and be okay, which is pretty important. Midline's certainly going to be our worst situation. I think I probably wait and then just play Jack in the Box literally as a sack. Oh, no, wait. You'll take, before your resolve, you'll take lethal damage to the Dominion. Never mind, you're fine. I can play you because you will die. I didn't have time to remove it, but it has negative deck costs as long as it dies from the opening hand. Oh, the ultra buffed pandemic is in hand. Hell yeah. First things first. We need to control savagery. I can hit pandemic on Dominion immediately after, but I can't let Deathcap Prophet die. Well, it's not going to. Fungi in a Suit's going to defend it. Oh, hang on. First card I play should be Fungi in a Suit. Okay. For the energy savings of it all. And then the card that I dupe is Pandemic. Second Pandemic for Dominion. Now you're incapable of dealing direct damage to us. Helical Crystallis just gets wasted on this line. Waxcap and Guardian both go behind. I do want a Fungi in a suit for the top line defensively. And then I'm just going to propagate on you to nullify more of your damage via Sap. Great. Pretty over the moon with how that's going. Ooh, we got our endless green recruit, so that's the one that'll be populating the bottom line, but it makes it very easy for me to now stack up my 2 additional green recruits on that line. Ooh, if I can line up Foregone Power to discard Curse of Entropy, I'll be pretty happy about that. I kind of want to play Ice and Fire on the top line, but I would have to play it a lot of times before it would do anything. So I may as well use it for incants instead, I believe. And then I am going to want to nullify your damage. Dealing with silence on the bottom line is going to be pretty bad as well. By discarding the Ephemeral, I get to remove it from my deck without having to play it. Ephemeral cards get destroyed on discard. Three Corruption on the Death Scrap Prophet's certainly annoying. I'm not going to want you to be building that up. Chosen Assassin in the back line is also pretty annoying here too. Waxcap would sap you enough that I wouldn't have to worry about you. Can I kill my own Waxcap though? Because then I would struggle with space on the bottom line. I was really hoping I would have direct Pandemic for the Chosen Assassins. I'm going to play Pyrelite to save energy on it, and then Helical Crystallis to draw a card. Not Pandemic, still not Pandemic. I don't even have another Pandemic in the deck. I have to play Waxcap on the bottom line if I want to be able to truly try and survive the Chosen Assassin. I do need my green recruit to die this turn so that I get it back for the next turn, so I'll play it like that. There we are. Deathcap's taking a lot more damage than I'm comfortable with. I'd love to just drop a huge spike of the Legion on Savagery again. And admittedly, that worked pretty good. So I'll be doing it. Dang, now I have to actually manually... do I have to manually play the Curse of Entropy? Sap 4 on all of my floors. Realistically, Sap 4 on all of my floors doesn't actually do anything to us. Our actual damage units have so much more than that that it's not relevant. Ooh, look at all the pandemics. Nice. You'll be dying in 2 turns, Dominion. Savagery's taking a decent amount of damage. So is Entropy. Okay, so the rest of this is going to be focused on the big boy. And then on some incant damage. It's totally okay if I lose my line on the bottom in like 2 rounds. Because I believe that's pretty much the same speed at which all of the Titans are going to die. Savagery and Dominion are both on 0 health at the end of this round, and Entropy is the only one still alive, and that's simply courtesy of the fact that they haven't had enough turns to take all of the lethal damage yet. Decay in the back line, stealing 400 this turn, and 30 this turn, so you'll die next turn. Perfect. Oh, they could have gone better, I think. We get to push some good damage on the top line next turn as well, but I do think we've already got it with the decays, and yes, indeed we have. Just ruthless, absolutely ruthless spells here. Fungi in a suit turning up, spawning 3 units, applying armor equal to 24 if there's only those 3. As well as, 3 units worth of health, so it's 36. This spell just summons a 36 wall. And, God forbid the fungi stack is higher than that. It gets ridiculous. Straight up removal from the deck. Sometimes this can be the best unit in the deck, sometimes it's just removal. Can't be too mad about that. Nameless Siren, double copy of Dualism with double triggers. Realistically, this is probably the best I've ever got to utilize Pandemic here. Oh, we can even see Madam Lion's Mane up there in the background. Best utilization of that I've ever gotten to have. It just propagating through the deck consistently, double stacked, and 0 cost. Alright. I think we just click the remaining buttons. Combat doesn't even get down to the bottom line. Why would I bother? There's another Spike of the Legion. Sure, let's give you 10 less damage, 10 more Frostbite. Sorry, 20 less damage, 10 more Frostbite, and 10 more Decay. That seems fair. Woo! That's what they call a classic victory right there. Oh, is the Under Legion lead as well, so I get another scene. We took a little damage over the course of that run, but nothing too much. Ice and Pios, Titan Sentry, and Nameless Siren, and Titan Sentry. How have I not won a run with those units before? I'm gobsmacked, frankly. Win streak increased back to 1. Hell yeah. Head back to the outpost and check out what's going on in the barracks.
Well, soldier, after all that fighting, we've earned this feast, don't you think?
Yes, General. And look at the food. Moss pies, spore rolls, even fermented dew. This is a real celebration.
Excuse me, General. I was just passing through.
Well, if it isn't the Madam's newest knight, don't look so stiff, Colonel. This is a feast, not a battlefield.
Yeah, Colonel, come on. Have some food. Even knights need a good meal.
I suppose. Just one roll won't hurt.
My, Madam Lion's Mane sure knows how to throw a ball, doesn't she? And to think we were invited. We owe it all to you, Moral Mistress. Your connections have truly opened the most exclusive doors. It was my pleasure. Madam Lion's Mane? Ah, my dears. I see you're enjoying yourselves. I do hope everything is to your liking. Oh, madam, everything's simply divine. You've outdone yourself as always. Well, it's all of you that make these gatherings worthwhile. Now enjoy yourselves. Tonight, we celebrate our clan. Oh, madam, before you go, where did you get that delightful perfume? Ha! Did I hear something about perfume? I wonder if it smells like moss pie? Or maybe like the damp mulch?
I take that mulch any day over this suit.
Honestly, why are we even in here? Can you pass the fermented dough? Everyone, let's have a drink. Here's to good friends and good food. Cheers. Cheers. May our roots grow deep and our spores spread far.
I think that might have been the most characters involved in a single cinematic that we've encountered so far, and that includes when all of the clan leaders came to have a conversation. Until next time, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is a series playlist from all my content on the game, past, present, and future. Probably heading back into the dimensional portal in the next episode. Special thanks this episode to Cold Heart. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.